Dead meme.
Alright, so we're back to check out a little bit more of Valheim today. And as we look at this house, it looks really plain, right? This is not overly pretty. And I see this a whole lot on the various servers that I've decided to play with the public, and even amongst my friends. It seems that building a nice structure is just not... It doesn't come naturally to many people. So what I would like to do is just do a simple little video that shows how you can spruce up basically your builds here. Like if we look inside, like, you know, it's a perfectly functional structure. Like there's nothing wrong with it. You can get rested in here, but you know, maybe you want it to look better. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is like perfect symmetry. I find that perfect symmetry does not do any favors for any sort of build, so I'm just going to do a slight alteration and you'll see how much nicer it looks. So we've removed some symmetry by basically creating this little breezeway, or maybe like your similar to like a mud room, and that automatically alters the profile of the building and makes it look a fair bit nicer, but it's still rather blocky. So I'm gonna throw a few other things in that really dismantle symmetry. Alright, and so by adding a window here, and I've created like a little frame for it, I like how it kind of breaks up like the solid sheet of wall. Like look at, compared back here to up front. So if you even made just frame shapes in your walls, they'll be more entertaining. Now, so there is a security issue to be concerned about, so maybe making your window less large if you're in like the plains biome and whatnot. But as you can see, we're still considered indoors. We can repair our things, and a rested state is you're able to acquire it. So it's definitely not the end of the world if you do have like gaping holes that look like windows within your base. So you can address your window security issues by getting some metal windows. There's even a glass version made from crystals. At the same time, there's also this bronze guy, which is a little bit more achievable than the earlier levels. But if you've noticed, you don't necessarily need to use things for what they were designed for. Like, this is supposed to be a shutter for a window, but instead, I've just decided to make it more of like a little gate entrance. And as you can see, even on the inside, just putting that minor bit of asymmetry from this side to this side, the building looks significantly nicer. It's very... It adds texture to the structure, right? It's way, way less ugly. So I've been kind of down on symmetry, but as you can see, you could use symmetry to do something nice, but the trick is that there's some sort of texture. As you can see, it kind of is lifted off of the wood, and it also has a bit of like shape to it within the textures that are on the model itself. So even that will bring some depth and break just the straight up and down lines. So let's throw another one in here to let you see. This might be a better one. See, even coming home to a base with that level of textures and depth added to the structure will make it a lot prettier. So structure does start to become an issue at times. Like, these beams are relatively good quality, but the issue I'm having is I want to build a roof from this plank to this plank, right? And that's not going to be easy to do. There's no easily accessible snap points. So you could always just use a lesser material, because when you deconstruct, you get it all back, right? And like, I know it says the structure's critical. So I've just pulled with a little bit of structure in there, and yeah, there's some orange in there, and some people might see this as a problem, but you can probably look at it more as an opportunity, because basically you can take the opportunity to add some more texture, some more beams and things. And it's improved. And of course, we could take this to a more extreme conclusion. We can run this to the floor. And then the room has even more texture to it. And as you can see now, we're within the really light yellow or faded green, I guess you can call it. And from there, I'll show you. I'll just keep building, and I'll show you next what you can make it look like. So we've done a bit more. We've created a bit of an overhang with some windows in it. You could always put some bronze shutters in there if you want to be able to close those. But what's really neat is when you go inside, when you take a look around, you can kind of see this nice shape taking form, right? Some daylight gets in. It's just, I don't know, I think that what we're doing by adding just simply trimming things and not treating support like it's a problem, it's more of an opportunity to make sure that you're prompted to put something there. So these guys are low in durability, or not durability, structural integrity. Once the roof is built the whole way around, you could build beams across, and it'll be significantly more durable. So one thing that'll help you out a lot is just try out all the snap points. And if there isn't one you like, you can hold down shift and you can kind of just slide it a little bit more with a little less snappiness, right? So I'm just going to toss it in there, and I'm going to do something that I like to call framing. So we'll take even these little half walls. So they've got a little bit of texture to them on the one side, or if you don't like it, you can always just do that. And we'll use the small version to finish it off. There you go. So we'll do a preview from the outside. Coming home to your nice, well-ventilated home, because you've got all those holes in the ceiling there. You've got your framed little hearth. Even with the roof open, you're still able to gain rested. So this is one of the structures that could generate in the world. It's only made out of wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair it at least to what it should look like, and then I'll show you how you can take a very basic wooden structure and make it significantly better. So pretty much fully restored, what you would expect it to look like if it were actually being used. So I'm going to do just a very small amount of what I've already talked about to show you what happens when you just break up the symmetry and add some sort of framing. So this is the change. We framed out a window using like the beams and whatnot. Ran a frame along here just to break up that long sheet. Put a thatch roof and snapped it to this little upside down like angle. Put those frames out just to add a little bit of to break up how square this is looking, basically. And it continues along this side. And here I just put a little beam through it. And that breaks up that huge sheet. So if you look inside, even the inside, because we framed up the window, looks okay. And we could probably frame this to kind of make it a little bit nicer, or we can... My mouse button is being difficult. We could even do something like this. And that's moderately more interesting, but not by a whole lot. No. There. And see how a little change did a lot. It looks better. It's not quite as functional. And we could be venting the smoke significantly better and still protect the fire. But that's not what the goal is. It's to make even the ugliest building like this look much, much nicer. To make it look more like this. Everything that was done here was only done with wood, so this is essentially a Stone Age house. You could just make a stone axe, chop down trees, and build what I've built here. Alright, we've taken it a step further, and we've kind of... It's starting to lose its Viking look this way, but at the same time, it looks much, much nicer. We could even do a little bit of this, not put it on there perfectly. And we can get like a neat little... And if we just go part of the way... Easier said than done, but I think you get the idea. So, for the most part, the goal of this was just to show you some tips on how you can turn even the plainest building into something nice just by using a couple of simple techniques, like, you know, like I framed out the fireplaces. I put a frame out around the window with those beams. We have broken up the symmetry by adding things like beams to break up big long flat sheets. These little jutting out parts ruin the symmetry versus this end, just to make it look a little bit different. Now there are some places where we did use symmetry, so we have here and here, but as you can see, it's over, they're so far apart, and there's all these other things going on between the two of them. I feel that kind of complements it. But, you know, if you liked the video, a like and a sub would be pretty cool. If you want to throw some other tips in there or discuss some other videos that can help people just make something a bit more stylish and fashionable, that'd be cool too. But again, thanks for showing up. See you all again real soon.